Hello my friends. I have here two bows. I want to do a real quick review on them. The first one I've been using for over a year, and it's a Samick Sage, and it has gotten very good reviews. And I purchased this with a 40-pound draw because that's one that you're legally allowed to use for hunting. But I do lots of target shooting, and I wanted a lighter draw. So I was looking for a 30-pound draw weight, and this is this is my new one. The one that I had for a year is this. It's a Tachyon, and this is the 40-pound draw. And I know this is on backwards. I just store the string that way. Okay, and it's 40 pounds. It can be used for hunting. So it shoots real nice. It has real good reviews. It's not, I don't believe, a very popular bow, but it was advertised for a bow under $100. The review that I watched, the person that was doing the review, they gave him the bow as a gift for the review. And that can influence the review, but he seemed to be very honest, and it was real good review. I've used it target shooting for over a year, and I do like how well it performs. But I wanted to buy new limbs, and they offer limbs in a poundage from 25 pounds to 60 pounds. So I wanted the 30-pound draw weight. I went to the site. I could not buy limbs separately, and I didn't want to buy another bow just to get the new limbs. Well, anyway, I ended up buying a new bow, and it was this Samick Sage because it also had very good reviews. And it offered limbs online that you could buy separately. Well, I didn't want to take a chance of buying those limbs and them not fitting the Tachyon. So the bow came, and this one cost me $160. This one, when I was finished paying for it, it was $129. That included the shipping and the handling. So roughly $30 difference in the bows. But when the bows came, I discovered that they are almost identical. To me, it looks like they were made or manufactured in the same factory. That's how close these are made. Also, I transferred the limbs, and they are interchangeable, so they do fit. Okay, now, for the price difference, I would buy the Tachyon. And one thing that makes it much better than just being about 30 pounds cheaper, or being $30 cheaper, is the fact that when it came in a package, it came in a box, it had a plastic or styrofoam type packing, and it was precision cut. The cuts in the packing matched the limbs perfect, matched the handle perfect. The Samick, which was the more expensive one, it came in a package without proper packing. The Tachyon, I'm regretting now that I didn't save the packing. I kept it for at least a year, but it is an empty box, and it was getting in the way of my storage. So I discarded the package because I would have liked to shown you the packaging that it came in. Now, the Samick Sage, it's advertised at between $149 and $160. Now I ended up paying $160. It came with the handle, 2 limbs, and a string. In comparison, the Tachyon, of course these are both identical, 62-inch draw. They both come with a 25 to a 60-pound limb. The Tachyon came with, okay, I'm going to read this list. It's one takedown bow, which is the handle, 2 limbs, 1 string, 1 bow stringer, which I use all the time. I find that I like to use the bow stringer on these bows. So it came with the stringer. It came with the finger guards, which are these, and this can be used in place of knock on the strings. It came with silencers. I didn't use them. I like the first silencer. I put those on both bow strings. It came with an arm guard, came with a fur arrow rest, which I already lost the bottom part and put a piece of leather on that. But it has fur for both the both sides here. Came with a knock point set. I don't know, I didn't use the knock point. And a pair of arrow rest. It had in addition to a fur, it had a rest that could be adhered to this edge right here. And it came with 2 of those. I didn't use either one. I like the fur on there. So this had a lot of items it came with. The stringer by itself, I looked online, is over $10 just for one of this stringer, this type of stringer. So the Tachyon, I would say, is a much better buy for what you're getting for your money, because they are identical in how they're made. All the screw points are brass inserts on both of them. And let me give you a close-up view of the 2 side by side, and I'll point the very slight differences if you can see them at all. Okay, I'm hand holding the camera now. So first of all, if you look at the tips on the limbs, this one is the Samick Sage, and it almost looks like the knock guard here. I can see a very slight line where it's joined. It looks like a synthetic material, but again on this one it's the same, but because they laminated 2 colors, you can definitely see a difference. So these are basically identical, other than the Tachyon has it highlighted with a different color. The limbs, okay, here's my 40-pound Tachyon. In the Samick Sage, this one is 30-pound. I'm looking for the mark. I don't see it marked on either limb. Okay, when we get to the handles, okay, they're both laminated, and I counted the layers of lamination, and their method, like the I do a lot of woodworking. I don't know what wood they're using to get black like this. More than likely that's dyed. But when I counted the layers of lamination, I think the Tachyon might have 2 more layers, but some of them are really hard to count. Yeah, there's the Tachyon label, and you can see the screw marks. And here is the Samick Sage. Okay, if you look at the lines, these are identical. The handles look identical. One point that is different and this would only be a matter of preference. You see the hilt part right here, and this one. The Tachyon has that more of a curvature, and I like that. It makes it look a little more graceful, but it does nothing different as far as how it shoots. If it's a different company and they're copying, that might be enough of a reason to state that it is a different pattern, different bow. Okay, on the Tachyon, you see this termination here, that slight angle. I like that better than this one. This is the Samick Sage. It just comes to an abrupt square. This one is a little more graceful, same with the end. That would be the only difference that is noticeable in the handles, other than maybe the Tachyon might have one or two more laminates in this area. But then again, those layers are also very hard to differentiate. Well, that's my review of these two bows. I'm not going to string them and shoot. There's plenty of videos shooting both of these bows, and they both handle real well. And I believe I'm going to order another set of limbs. I'm going to order the lowest poundage, the 25-pound limb, just for smaller kids or somebody that, or women that want to be shooting, and the draw weight might be uncomfortable having a higher poundage. I really don't notice much difference between the 40 and the 30-pound draw, other than I find I fatigue less, I can shoot longer with the 30-pound draw weight. And that was the main reason why I wanted the lower poundage, so I could shoot a longer period of time. And possibly the 25-pound, we're only talking 5-pound difference. I don't know how much effect that will have on the shooting. But both of them are a good deal. The Tachyon is a better deal. You get more for your money, quite a bit more. A lot of the accessories. In fact, the bow stringer I'm using on the Samick, which I have the 30-pound limbs on. And they are interchangeable, the limbs, so I would not hesitate to buy a Samick Sage limbs to use on a Tachyon handle. Thanks for watching, my friends. Bye-bye.